Welcome back to Mythic Sleep. I am young Homer, here to guide you into the final chapter of Series 9. Weaknesses, pitfalls, and the slow decline of Zeus in the rise and fall of Zeus. Tonight, we conclude with episode 81, the slow descent. Zeus becomes a legend. In this tale, we watch as Zeus, once the mighty king of Olympus, fades into the quiet realms of memory and myth. With belief waning, Olympus stands empty, a place of echoes where once there was glory. Zeus's influence dwindles as mortals turn away, his once mighty voice now a distant whisper in the winds of history. This story marks the end of an era, as Zeus transitions from a living god to a figure in legends, a story passed from one generation to the next. As we enter this tale of transformation and quiet dignity, allow yourself to settle deeply into the warmth of your bed, feeling safe, grounded, and fully supported. Close your eyes if you wish, and take a slow, deep breath in, letting calm spread through your chest, steady as the ancient hills that remember each passing age. As you exhale, release any remaining tension, allowing your body to grow heavy, sinking into stillness and peace. This is your time to let go, to rest, and to find ease. Now, focus on the gentle rhythm of your breath, each inhale and exhale like the soft turning of the pages of history. Take a slightly deeper breath in, filling yourself with calm, and hold it softly for a moment. Then, as you exhale, feel any tightness dissolve, leaving only warmth and tranquility. One more time, breathe in deeply, and as you exhale, feel yourself sinking further, calm and serene. Now let's guide each part of the body to soften, inviting rest with every breath. Start with your forehead, allowing it to relax completely as you exhale. Move to your jaw, releasing any tightness, letting it rest softly. Now, bring awareness to your shoulders. Inhale deeply, and as you exhale, let them fall gently, as though setting down the weight of ancient stories. Allow your arms and hands to grow heavy, resting peacefully by your sides. Notice the steady rise and fall in your chest and belly, inhaling as your belly rises, and on the exhale, releasing any last bits of tension, feeling light and free. Shift your focus to your hips and thighs, letting them sink deeper into the bed, fully supported and relaxed. And finally, bring attention to your calves, feet, and toes, allowing them to release completely, grounded and calm. Now, imagine yourself at the peak of Olympus beneath a star-lit sky, where the ancient halls stand silent, bathed in silver light. In the distance, you see Zeus, alone, gazing at the vast world below, his figure calm and dignified. Though he no longer reigns, there is peace in his stance, the quiet acceptance of a king who understands his place in history. He stands now as a legend, woven into the fabric of time, his story passed on as a whisper, a memory that endures like the stars. With each breath, feel yourself surrounded by the gentle strength of this moment, as though you too are part of a legacy that transcends time. Inhale deeply, letting the calm and depth of the scene fill you, and exhale, feeling grounded, steady, and fully at ease. With your body relaxed and your mind open, allow the story to carry you into this world of legacy, remembrance, and quiet strength, where even the greatest of gods find their place in eternity. Take one last deep breath in and let it out softly. Now, let us begin. In the silence of Olympus, Zeus finds himself reflecting on the journey that brought him to this moment, on the rise and fall of a rule that once seemed unbreakable. He remembers the fierce struggles of his youth, the wars against the Titans, the rise to power that once filled him with pride and purpose. He recalls the early days of Olympus when gods and mortals alike revered him as the supreme authority, the one who held dominion over earth and sky. Zeus's thoughts drift to the many challenges he faced, each one testing his strength and resolve. The betrayal of the Titans, the wars with the giants, and the trials of leadership that forced him to wield his power with both mercy and severity. He recalls the conflicts with his children, each born of divine ambition and carrying the potential to challenge his authority. In these moments, Zeus sees the gradual erosion of trust, the doubts that began to seep into Olympus, and the distance that grew between him and the gods who once stood loyally by his side. He remembers the Trojan War, a conflict that pitted God against God, mortal against mortal, fracturing the unity that had held Olympus together. He sees the faces of mortals, brave warriors who fought not for the gods, but for their own honor, their own legacies. In them, Zeus had seen a new kind of power, strength born not from divine blessing, but from mortal will, a force he could no longer control. The cracks that began in those battles spread, widening the gulf between Olympus and the world below. In his reflection, Zeus confronts the painful truth of his own journey, a journey that took him from ruler to isolated king, from feared god to a figure of fading relevance. As the years passed, Zeus watched his kingdom slowly transform. The gods, once bound by loyalty to him, began to seek autonomy, each finding purpose beyond the throne of Olympus. Athena, goddess of wisdom, turned her focus to guiding mortals in their pursuit of knowledge, her loyalty shifting from Olympus to the cities of men. Apollo, god of light and prophecy, saw his role evolve, his gifts becoming symbols of human enlightenment rather than divine favor. Even Hera, his once loyal queen, began to withdraw, her own sense of duty waning as mortals redefined their relationships without divine intervention. This quiet rebellion, this turning away, was not one of anger or hatred, but of resignation. The gods, sensing their own irrelevance, stopped fighting for control and instead sought meaning beyond the throne. The halls of Olympus, once filled with vibrant debate and divine revelry, grew silent, each god retreating into their own domain, creating a kingdom of isolation rather than unity. The divine order Zeus had once imposed was fading, replaced by a world where gods and mortals existed on parallel paths, each journeying forward without looking to the other. To Zeus, this was a painful betrayal, a reminder that even those closest to him no longer felt bound to his rule. The silence of Olympus echoed the silence of mortal temples, a quiet that revealed the truth. The gods had lost faith in their own authority, their purpose eroded by the world's changing tides. Zeus's once mighty kingdom had become a hollow realm, each god drifting further from the unity they had once shared. In the mortal world, tales of gods became legends, stories passed down through generations as myth rather than memory. Heroes like Hercules, Perseus, and Achilles became figures of inspiration, not for their divine connections, but for their strength, resilience, and determination. Mortals began to seek meaning in their own lives, honoring the memory of gods not as beings to worship, but as symbols of courage, wisdom, and justice. Philosophers, storytellers, and leaders rose in place of priests, guiding their people not with prophecies but with reason, empathy, and understanding. Mortals learned to shape their own destinies, no longer relying on the whims of Olympus. In cities and villages, stories of the gods became cultural heritage, lessons of a past age that taught values and morals rather than divine fear. The temples that had once thrived with offerings and prayers became monuments of a bygone era, places to honor stories rather than places of worship. Zeus saw this transformation and felt the sting of loss, a kingdom forgotten, a throne that no longer commanded respect or fear. The world was moving forward, evolving beyond the need for gods, embracing a path of self-reliance and discovery. For mortals, Zeus and the gods had become figures of the past, legends to admire but not to fear, symbols of a time when life was governed by forces they could not understand. The mortal realm had turned away, creating a legacy of independence, a world where humanity's strength lay in its own hands, no longer beholden to Olympus. In his solitude, Zeus contemplates the full weight of his journey. He had once believed that his power was eternal, his rule unbreakable. Yet now, he sees himself as a king without subjects, a ruler whose authority has withered into myth. He realizes that his greatest fear, the loss of control, the erosion of faith, has come to pass not with rebellion but with quiet abandonment, a gradual separation between Olympus and the world below. Zeus reflects on his own actions, his relentless pursuit of control, his obsession with power, and his inability to let go of his ambition. He sees the moments where he could have led with compassion, where he could have forged stronger bonds rather than demanding obedience. He understands now that his need to dominate had alienated both gods and mortals, pushing them toward a world that no longer needed Olympus. In his final moments of reflection, Zeus accepts that his reign has ended not with a battle or a fall, but with a quiet descent into legend. He, the king of gods, has become a story, a memory passed down through the ages, a figure remembered but no longer revered. He understands that the power he once held can no longer bind the world, that his name will live on not as a ruler but as a symbol, a myth woven into the tapestry of mortal history. In his acceptance, Zeus finds a sense of peace, a bittersweet understanding that even the gods are subject to the tides of time. As the years pass, Olympus becomes a place of echoes, a realm where the gods wander as figures of myth rather than rulers. They observe the mortal world from afar, watching as humanity builds new kingdoms, new ideals, new futures. The gods, once central to every aspect of mortal life, become distant, their presence felt only in stories and songs. Athena, Apollo, Artemis, all find new roles as symbols of virtues rather than forces of intervention. Temples crumble, offerings cease, and the gods feel the weight of their own irrelevance, each one accepting that their time of influence has ended. They become legends, immortal not through power, but through memory, figures whose tales will inspire mortals for generations, but who no longer command worship or fear. Olympus, once vibrant with divine purpose, becomes a quiet, timeless realm, a place where gods live not as rulers but as memories, each one a fragment of a past age that will live on in stories rather than reality. The gods, bound by immortality, drift into myth, accepting their place as relics of an era that has passed, a kingdom of legends rather than a realm of active divinity. In the fading light of Olympus, the gods find their final role, not as rulers, but as symbols, forever part of the mortal imagination. Zeus, in his final role as king, watches over Olympus one last time, feeling the bittersweet peace that comes with acceptance. He knows that his name will live on, that tales of his power, his love, his wrath, and his wisdom will endure. But he also knows that he is no longer the ruler of gods and men. He is a legend, a story told to inspire awe, a reminder of a time when gods walked among mortals. He thinks of the mortals who will tell his story, who will pass down his legacy, not as a ruler to obey, but as a figure to learn from. In his heart, he understands that this is the ultimate transformation, that the true power of Olympus is not in control, but in the ability to live on through the imaginations of those who carry its stories. And so, with a quiet dignity, Zeus lets go of his title, his throne, and his kingdom, embracing his place in history as a symbol rather than a king. As he gazes upon the world one last time, Zeus feels a sense of fulfillment, knowing that his legacy will live on, not in temples and altars, but in the hearts and minds of those who remember his name. He has become not a forgotten ruler, but a myth, a tale to be told, a memory to be cherished, a figure of wonder and mystery for ages to come. In the final moments of Olympus, Zeus finds peace in his transformation from king to legend, a legacy woven into the fabric of time. But the legend of Zeus does not end here. Join us in the final series as we delve into the lasting impact of Zeus's reign, the rise of new beliefs, and the transformation of Olympus from a divine kingdom to a realm of memory. Discover how Zeus's legacy endures, shaping the world for generations to come as we explore the final tales of the king who became a legend. Until we meet again, may your path be filled with peace, strength, and a touch of magic. I'm young Homer, and I look forward to our next story together.